want to know how to get things done, how to be much more efficient and effective with your time, most people would tell you to work harder and hope for the better. Fortunately, you are not those people. In this video, I will outline the secret to productivity: deep work. What is up, YouTube? My name is Aidan Helfant. I am an upcoming freshman at Cornell University who makes videos on life advice as well as learning and fitness. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most important parts of productivity: deep work. First, we'll discuss what deep work is, then why we need it, and finally some tips for how you can do deep work effectively. If you want to get a more in-depth version of why deep work is more effective than normal unfocused work, I'll link my blog post in the description. Deep work is an extended period focused on one activity with little to no distraction. Working in this way allows us to enter something called the flow state. The flow state is a state in which everything else seems to melt away. The only thing that matters is you and your work. To enter the flow state, a couple of things must occur. It would be best if you had little to no distraction present in your environment. I'm not talking about a medium amount of distraction, I mean no distraction. Turn off email and text notifications and make sure that your environment is clean and organized. Consider reducing anything that could bring your concentration from work away for more than 3 seconds as much as humanly possible. Go to the bathroom before starting your deep work, then grab a glass of water so you don't have to get up, or get yourself a nice cup of tea or coffee. Studies have shown that a simple email check while working can pull you from your concentration for up to 30 minutes. Insane. You must try and get the task you're doing to fall in the Goldilocks zone. This is a zone where something is just hard enough to be interesting, but not so hard that we get frustrated and give up. If you can get the productive work you are doing to fall in this area, it will set you up for entering the flow state. On the other hand, if the work you're doing does not fall in these areas, there are many ways we can change it to fit our needs. Try a new technique you've never done before. Maybe you've recorded YouTube videos in the same way for a very long time and they've become much too easy to film as a result. Try a new camera technique. Maybe try recording with 2 cameras instead of 1 to switch up the camera angle. Add difficulty. Say you've been practicing your typing skills on a typing site. Maybe you've gotten good at the regular typing mode. How about adding punctuation to increase the difficulty of typing up a bit? This way you're still typing the exact same words as before, but now with added punctuation, bringing the task into the Goldilocks zone. Make it easier. Are you trying to learn a new language but becoming frustrated at how much you do not know? Maybe you should start by learning the primary and most common words in the language itself. If you start out doing the grammar without knowing the words themselves, you're just going to become frustrated and feel extremely stupid. As you can see, there are a ton of ways to getting a task into the Goldilocks zone. The most important thing is to get creative with it. You can do almost anything to influence the difficulty of a task. You know what the saying is, the world is your oyster. Why deep work? Why do we even want to do deep work in the first place? Is it more efficient to get a ton of different tasks done in a short period so that we can complete more things at once? Isn't multitasking much more effective? The answer is unfortunately no. When we multitask, we switch focus rapidly between all the tasks we're doing in speedy intervals. The problem is that the brain can never get truly invested in one particular task. So we may think that we're getting more done because we probably are. The real question comes when we ask ourselves if what we get done was of the same quality that we would have had we done it on its own. Sure, you might be able to clean the dishes while talking to your mom on the phone and doing calculus homework, but is it effective? No. When you're in a state of deep work, you operate and produce way more effectively than if you're not. This is not only because your focus is entirely on that task, but because it allows us to batch a task all at once. Think about it like meal prep. A lot of people like to do all their meal prep for the week on a Sunday afternoon by preparing all of their meals in one massive batch. They are much more efficient and effective with their time. When they go to get a meal during the week, they only have to open the fridge and eat right away instead of getting all the kitchen gear out again and making something from scratch. Just like meal prep, deep work allows us to focus and get a massive amount of work done at once. Deep work will enable you to take your most important task and bash it with your productivity hammer. Now, more than ever, deep work is needed. We live in an age of complete distraction. Everyone is checking their email, social media feed, and other digital devices constantly. While they might not realize it, this destroys their ability to focus and effectively decimates their productivity. No one can enter the deep work state because we get constantly pulled out of focus from all these things. If you don't learn to reduce distractions effectively, you will never be able to produce produce anything meaningful, because deep work is where you produce the most fantastic work. It is entirely up to you if you want to leave the rabbit hole of meaningless living. Do you want to continue to be a slave to your phone, or rise and become something more significant? Good. Then let us get started. Set specific times for your deep work. The best way to do more deep work is to set a specific time for it every day. Make deep work a habit. When you make something into a habit, it automatically becomes infinitely easier to do. You no longer need nearly the same willpower, if any, to get the task done. I recommend scheduling your deep work for the morning. Our mind is functioning at its best with relatively little distraction or commitments at this time. Don't worry if at the beginning you can only focus for 20 or 30 minutes at a time. Your brain is more like a muscle than it is a supercomputer. The more you train it to do deep work, the more you will be able to concentrate at a time. However, it is helpful to know that 4 hours of deep concentrated work is the limit of the human brain, and you should probably use that as a stopping point. You will find that you'll be able to enter the flow state over time for longer and longer periods. Have a shutdown ritual. Burnout is not the price you have to pay for success. One of the essential parts of this process is to have a shutdown ritual. Something that you do every day to relax your brain and prepare it for more deep work tomorrow. Your brain must feel as if it can completely forget about work for this to happen. Here are a couple of examples. Take a nap. Meditate for 10 to 20 minutes. Go for a short walk outside or in nature. Take a long and hot bath. There are no rules. Do whatever you feel is the most useful thing for you to be able to unplug and unwind. The only rule is that your break does not involve checking social media. Think about it like this. You're training for the Tour de France and bike for a straight 3 hours. Instead of taking a well-earned rest, you spend 15 minutes doing burpees rather than sitting down or eating. This is what you're doing when you check social media during break. It's mental suicide. Your brain won't be able to concentrate on the task at hand when it knows of the million other things that are happening on the screen. Set distraction rules. Of course, we're still all human. We still need time to check our email and go on social media if we want to. It's excellent to do these things at specific points in the day. However, I strongly suggest you wait to do these things until after you do your deep work. I can already hear what you're saying. My email is important. If I didn't check it 5 times every day, then the world would tumble over and everyone would die. No, it won't. Many people like to think that if they check their messages less, the world would topple over. What an egotistical way of thinking. The world doesn't revolve around you. The economy won't collapse if you respond to Kate or John 2 hours later because you took the initiative and decided to bring clarity back to your life. It might seem daunting only to check your email and social media once or twice a day, so let me put it this way. If you don't reduce the amount that you fill yourself with meaningless distractions, you will never get as much effective and meaningful work done as you would like to. To do this effectively, you should set some ground rules to hold yourself accountable. Here are some rules I hold myself on. I never check email or social media until after my breakfast and deep work. While doing deep work, I turn off all immediate notifications for everything except calls on my phone. This way, I only get contacted if it is an emergency. I check my email twice per day. Once after I'm done with my deep work, and once after I'm done with my day in the evening. I check social media only twice per day. Once after I'm done with my deep work, and once again in the evening. Get out there. Deep work is one of the most powerful tools we have at our disposal to get more done in less time. It allows us to focus on our most meaningful work and do it with maximum efficiency and effectiveness. In the distraction age, this is needed more now than ever. Unfortunately, most people will never follow the rules and ideas outlined in this video and in the related blog post. You are different. Stop falling into the trap of getting enveloped in the monotony of daily life. Stop living each day in isolation and getting wrapped up in the meaningless emails and social media fields you have gotten yourself in. Pick something, anything that means something to you. For example, do you have a book you always wanted to write? Or a YouTube channel you always wanted to start? Do it right now. Use technology as a blessing rather than a burden and utilize the full power of deep work. Once you do, you will find the limits of your capabilities are far more significant than what you ever thought possible. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys and gals. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe as well as hit the bell icon. Tell me anything you would like me to do to make the videos better in the future. And as always, bye-bye!